In a 2D grid from 0 to n minus 1, every cell contains a 1 except for those cells given the list minds, which are 0. What is the largest axis aligned plus sign of 1s contained in the grid? Return the order of the plus sign. If there are none, return 0. An axis of what does that mean? Have to print out 0. What is that? How big can n be? N is over 5. There's no plus sign. Do we do 0? There's a plus sign for the 1. Okay. Okay. So I wonder if we have to generate. So n could be at most 500, and there could be at most 5,000 mines. So it's already sparse away. Right now, I'm just wondering if I should create this graph manually. But okay. What is the dynamic thing here? Well, like what is it? I mean, and this is tricky, even knowing that it's dynamic programming. But okay, construct first. Time length 2 and cut up. So that just tells you that it'll be inside. Okay. I mean, certainly you could do it naively in O of n cube times. Yeah. So I think you probably want something better than that. You just do 2 for loops and then start each one and then do an O of n operation to see what's the biggest on that one. Wonder if we could do the columns and the rows separately. Maybe that's another idea that we could do. How did that? Or is possibly maybe there's an inverse way to look at it. Like maybe the minds tell you something. I wonder if there's like some weird process of elimination you think, but because I mean, knowing that there's a plus of order 1, does that tell you anything? Well, but okay, but knowing that there's a plus of order 2, that doesn't really tell me anything about a plus of order 3, does it? And can we do better than n squared? Where n is 500. Yeah, I guess we don't need to do better than n squared. But n cubed should be fast enough, right? Yeah, depending on what they do, but 125 million. Maybe that'll time out. I mean, one thing I can think of is just having like a lookup table to kind of keep track of the strings of ones or something like that on both the rows and columns, so you don't have to keep, do them. And that would maybe bring you to n squared if you have pre-processed in a good way. maybe I will try that. Uh, hmm. Yeah, not sure. Right. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Then you could do stuff in n squared log n. Is that fast enough? Hmm. Maybe it should be okay. N squared. Well, let's see. A lot of candidates. Hmm. Sorry, you were messaging me, but yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, also, thanks for joining again, Poster Rat. Yeah, I was talking about it earlier. I was just kind of figure, just trying to think it through a little bit before starting to code for this one where, um, yeah, I could definitely pre-process the columns and stuff, and rows independently, and then use them as to generate like a list of candidates to kind of do it. Man, this is a medium. Maybe I'm missing something very obvious though, but yeah, I was thinking of doing something like that. But I'm also just trying to think a little bit of like because I mean, we are giving one hint, which is that it's a dynamic programming problem, and I'm trying to think like that's not really like what is the recurrence for or like I know it's like like that might I might not have thought of this as a dynamic program problem to begin with, but I'm trying to think well if it is then like what is the what is the recurrence, right? Hmm. Or unless you mean something else for 1D. um, but yeah, huh. Feel about that. Yeah, I mean, I think there are a good amount of other problems as well. It's just that I'm specifically practicing dynamic programming, so yeah. And like certainly you can, um, yeah, certainly you can practice other type of problems. It's just that for me, it is definitely something I'm weaker at. But hmm, maybe I could do them at the same time though. Like, yeah, maybe I think one thing that I'm a little or haven't been doing with these type of problems is that I'm not good at thinking about it backwards. I keep on thinking about like, okay, this is the first step. How do I create a recurrence of that? Where I mean, one thing that I've noticed while I was kind of going through what I've been doing is that I haven't been doing the pattern where like, okay, this is the last step. Uh, how can I take advantage of this being the last step, and what does it mean? Like backwards looking forward kind of thing. But so maybe there's something like that there. Okay, like, and I think I forget what problem there is. It's a problem in which like you can like it takes the min of four. Like maybe there's four things where, yeah, maybe that's it. Huh. Maybe I could have four directions, like one DP for four, and each of those contains the the one, if you will, like the number of consecutive ones that are coming before, and then you just kind of in one, uh, uh, and then your star or plus is just the min of those four things. Okay, I think maybe I got it. I don't know if I'm describing it well though, but maybe in code it makes sense a little bit. Okay, hold on, I want to write it without being too 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 much copy and pasting. Okay, let's just do it. So we want an array of four. Let's do DP. Okay, so let's just name it the dumb way. Of the matrices. I'm going to do it in C actually then. Just keep things a little easier in my mind in terms of my preferences around square matrices. But yeah, so we have oh, I mean, this probably could have been an array of four elements. Yeah, okay, fine. And then that's one for each of the directions. I think this is very similar to that was a promise. It's biggest rectangle in a grid or something like that, or square in a grid, kind of thing. Maybe not really. I don't know. I think the hardest part for me about these things is that like a lot of this I retain from just knowing the answer from a long time ago or something like that. So if I don't remember the answer or similar problems, I don't know what's like a great approach to figure these out. It's been a while, but okay. Oh, maybe this should be infinity. Sorry, I was not paying attention. Okay. And, I'm not going to do recursion, so okay. Line for lines. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Am I? Nope. J of lines I. One. Okay, so that sets up the way in both in all the directions. And now we have to do is just make sure that we okay. Actually, I guess I'll need this. Maybe you could do this in a clever way, coding way. For now, I'm just going to do it this way. But it'll be nice if I could type. I'm better around the typing for now. Yeah. So right now, DP says is equal to okay. If there's a mine on it, then we add it to the one to the left, which is I minus 1, say. It doesn't matter as long as we do all directions. So then that will keep track of the longest consecutive ones that are before this position on the left side. And then we do the same one for right. Well, okay, well, actually, we'll do that then. We can actually start with 1. So this is a little more copy and pasty. Maybe I could clean this up at some point to no, because yeah, I mean it'll be, I can't just I mean these two things I can refactor. Maybe I should just do it this that way then. Yeah, okay, fine. I mean, at least it's better than nothing. So this is should be look left and up. Probably be a little smaller, but did I delete this? So okay, if we J plus so this is left looking, and this is up looking. We'll refactor that. How is this easier? Oh, or medium even. Maybe there's an easier way, so leave that in the comment. I think also it's just that dynamic program problems are just very easy to code up relatively. Like you're not spending like 3 hours writing a project, so maybe that's why people tend to like those problems. But not saying I agree with it, but you know. That should be. So that's why I needed 2 arrays. I mean, maybe I could still combine them, but or index them in a cleaner way. But at least for me, this will be slightly easier to understand. Okay. Now the answer is just the min of all those 4 directions in every array. Right? This was more annoying than I thought it would be. But okay. So, okay. So the current result is equal to min of all those four things. Assuming that. Oh, I did this wrong. The for loops are wrong. Those, yes, and it's probably the biggest it could be anyway. So if Kij is great and is less than and then if current is bigger than result, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man, hard maybe. Well, only one thing to do. Print everything out. Maybe I have an off by one. Double check real quick. Because if you do them in the right order, then this would be just one plus the previous one. Should be okay. That's why I just put it out. Yeah, it's definitely possible. I think DP by itself also just like lend itself to really clean code in yeah, which I mean, which is good. Well, if you write, but yeah, I don't know. I think definitely it is overemphasized in general because I think it's something that in theory you could because there's not that much coding you could squeeze it in interview easier. But whether I agree with it or not is another story. Okay, let me finish this one real quick there. Okay, this one. Oh no, what did I? So in those two go. Oh no. Oh, okay. No, I did it. I did the inverse problem. Actually, I think that's why. Uh, so I confused the mine streaks and the what and the save streaks. So I think maybe this should be okay. So, right. Did I have the wrong index? K is always 0 and 2, so this should always be. It should always be. Oh man. See typos. That's not good. Okay. Well, there's still one bit, but that was definitely a typo in either case. Um, how do you get -1 if this is? Oh man, another typo. Okay, but typos are fine. well, that's why we have testing, right? Um, but okay. Uh, but that's also why copy and paste coding is bad. Once because you have one typo instead you have 5 typos. So, cool. Let's just do a ridiculous big case with one, even if not done in lines. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna submit. Okay, cool. Hey. I don't use that much memory, which is good. um, I don't know how I feel about this one anymore for interview stuff. I mean, I definitely struggle a little bit with this one. 25 minutes. Definitely. I don't know. It's just kind of a mess. If I look at my code, yeah. I mean, there's maybe I could clean up certain things, but that's why I don't really like these things as an interviewer when I'm judging them as an interviewer. Because I look at this code, I'm like, well, that's kind of cool, but you know, it's just for loops, and the understanding is more important sometimes. But I don't know. I mean, this is a medium, but I think this is also like a little trickier than I would have imagined, and less so on the fundamentals. But it is a problem solving, so I don't know. Cool. Okay. But yeah, the idea that I have here is that you for each cell, I keep track of the maximum number of streaks of ones that are coming here, then and then you do it from left up right down, and the minimum of all those 4 things will give you the length of the plus at that spot, and this is n square way. I mean, you could these are all for loops, so you could see the n square part very quickly. So yeah, I think that's all I have for this one. Um, yeah, okay. Yeah, for a pretty okay call.